Time now to run the no huddle. We've got 4 stories about the NFL, and we are not huddling, which means we'll be in little boxes, okay? That's basically we're going to start with a new highest-paid running back in NFL history. It's Saquon Barkley, 2-year, $41 million extension. Schefter noting that the Eagles are making the rare move of extending Saquon after only 1 year into his contract. He exceeded expectations when you look at his 1 year in Philly versus 6 years with the Giants. Brew, do you like this move by Philadelphia?
I loved it. I mean, and Philadelphia seems to have money that no other teams have.
Yeah,
I mean, but Nick's talked to us about it. Like, you know, they're going to have to pay it back later. But this is
now's
about
the time to go for it.
Right.
Yep, that's right.
And I do think some of this is a reward, and I'm glad for it. What more could he have done? He may have been able to break the rushing record had you allowed him. You won a Super Bowl. I think he's going to come back next year and have a great year. And I'm excited to see, I just wish he had been with a team like this early in his career, because who knows what he would have done rather than be with the Giants. But I'm happy for him, and I'm also, Coach, happy for other running backs, though, because we know last year the market was really depressed for the backs. A bunch of them came out and had great years. And I'm glad to see Saquon get paid, and hopefully some of these other guys do too.
Yeah, I love this for Saquon, and the fact that he was willing to sit when he could have pushed to try to get the record. I mean, he seems like a great guy, a selfless guy. Love this for the Eagles. I think it's a great message to the rest of the league in terms of what type of organization they are, to go ahead and pay someone proactively, where usually it's, you know, guys are fighting to get this done. So I think it's great, and I think, Brew, you nailed it early on, saying that he was going to be this good.
McCaffrey,
yeah. You might need a bonus for picking that out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what he got the extra day off.
Nick yelled at me for that.
Listen. The Brew obviously did nail this. So can I get philosophical for a moment?
No, let's just.
It'll be good. I think it'll be good. Just give me a second. The audience takes its cues from you. Will you at least pretend to be interested in what I'm about?
You did 2 minutes.
I'm interested in philosophy as we talk about Saquon.
This is it. I'll land the plane. I promise.
All right, here we go.
So I wish I remember the author that said this, but it's this quote has kind of become like a leading light in my life, like to try to have a positive outlook, which is never underestimate the awful luck that your bad luck saved you from.
Oh, that's good.
So, which is like whenever something bad happens to you, don't disregard that maybe that bad thing prevented you from something truly awful. So here's why I say it.
That's good.
Saquon was devastated and hurt when the Giants wouldn't extend him and instead franchise tag him. And it was the best thing that ever happened to him. Because had they given him the contract that he wanted, he wouldn't have ever had 2,000 yards. I don't think it was possible with that Giants team. The whole world wouldn't have seen how great he can be, and he wouldn't have ever gotten close to $20 million a year. So, in a weird way, Joe Shane did him a solid, unintentionally, and this ended up being the best thing that happened to him was the Giants screwing that up 2 years ago. And so
and he wouldn't be a
potential Hall of Famer. No, any of those things. And I also like the fact that there's now a $20 million a year running back, which, kind of sets the new standard of what that position can get.
Oh, Cormac McCarthy, Hubs is telling me.
That's who it was?
Yeah.
Wrote The Road?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Wow. I think he also wrote, what else? Did he write?
Wrote a lot.
No Country for Old Men, yeah.
Yes.
A lot. The newest book, though?
Levels.
Yeah.
The new 2 books, though, I hate to say it.
It's not as good. But that quote's awesome.
The quote's awesome, but the 2 books I read
it. Book club, buddy. Save that for your podcast.
You're doing philosophy lessons.
And it was
You're like, there's a philosopher.
It was great. Tweet that out by itself, Gian.
No, don't do that. Jamar Chase reportedly looking to reset the non-QB salary market. Diana Rossini writing that an offer has been made by Cincinnati, but the two sides are far apart. Here's Jamar's numbers in his first 4 years. Tied for 4th with catches, 3rd with receiving yards, and has 46 touchdowns. That's 3rd. Coach will start with
And those ranks are not
you.
Amongst current players. That's of all players since the merger.
Yeah. Coach?
Yeah, to me, it's going to get done. It's just a matter of how quickly they can get it done. Is he going to be the highest paid player outside of the quarterbacks? Yeah, he should. And It's going to be interesting to see if this thing gets dragged out in Cincinnati fashion. I think everybody can agree that he deserves this money. Now let's quickly get to whatever that number is so that the Bengals can move on and hopefully be productive at the start of the season as opposed to what we've seen in the past.
I think that number's $40 million plus. I think that's what he's going for. And if I'm him, I'm like, that's what you're going to pay me. He's coming off a fantastic season. The quarterback loves him. They got this special relationship. Like, they have to pay him, and he should take no less. And, Coach, this is just an example of why you pay a guy. If you know that this is a guy you're keeping, you need to pay him earlier rather than later. They could have got him for 35.
Well,
right?
No, they could have got him for, I think,
less.
32 if they'd have done it at the beginning of this time last year. Listen, if they're going to keep him, then they need to sign him before Micah signs.
Yes.
Like
now.
Micah,
What does it say?
I know, it just feels like.
No, he wants to be. They both want to be the highest paid non-quarterback ever. They both do. Right? Like, by the way, it was the Nicky Bosa contract that Justin Jefferson based his. You know what I mean? So, like, there's real precedent for that.
And the danger in this is the longer you wait, the market keeps resetting.
Correct.
And it's like you could have got it cheaper a week ago.
Yeah.
Now you're paying.
But I wouldn't keep them both.
They should trade the franchise.
Well, man,
you might trade Jamar.
I said this yesterday. Jamar Chase at $40 million a year, or keep T and get a second round pick for T Higgins, or get T Higgins for $28 to $30 million a year and get the Tyreek Hill package for Jamar Chase.
Well, I do think that's a decision, though, you have to bring Joe Burrow in on.
Oh, so Coach, talk to Burrow. What I wrote is I'd trade one of them and I'd talk to Burrow.
Well, I'll tell you what Joe Burrow's going to say. No, you don't need to talk to Joe Burrow. Hey, we're going to trade one of your good friends.
Well, if it's an either-or type thing, at least you have the discussion. And there is a business component to it, too. Like, I'm sure Joe Burrow wants to win the Super Bowl.
What are you talking about?
I mean,
who is a great receiver?
I mean, listen, I get that, and it shouldn't be dismissed because they played college football together and they've been unbelievable together. The point I'm making is this Burrow plus two awesome receivers does not make you a contender unless your defense is excellent. They've been a contender for 2 years. They were good to very good on defense those years. Those players are gone. The defense is no good. They don't have like a bounty of extra picks. They're not going to spend a bunch of money in free agency. They're just going to step on the same rake again. And so I just don't think it's the smart way to build your team is what I'm saying. I also think we're going to get a report in the next week that says the Bengals have offered Jamar Chase, tried to make Chase the highest paid non-quarterback. And it's going to be that is going to be true in average salary and not true at all in guarantees because they're going to offer him, I bet, $40 million a year with only the first year guaranteed, and Jamar Chase is going to say that's funny money, I'm not doing it, and this is going to drag on.
Okay. Next up, head to Pittsburgh. I think that's savvy. Justin Fields reportedly more likely to return to the Steelers than Russ is. Here's the comparison on how they played last year. The question we have is this the right move to pick Justin over Russ, with the caveat that maybe Justin Fields is going to be the backup and Russ is looking to start, so that's just part of the equation here. Coach,
it seems like the offensive coordinator likes Justin Fields better than
and has all
Russell,
along.
but the head coach likes Russell better than Justin Fields. At this point, it's going to be more of what we saw last year, so it's hard to get excited about either of them. If you're going to make a decision, maybe you go younger with the hopes that because he improved, he'll continue to improve and the ceiling is higher. And then you might also go cheaper, whichever one signs for a lower number, knowing that neither one is probably the answer moving forward long term.
Yeah, that's where, there's a ceiling with Russ, and you hit it last year. It's not going to be any better with Russ this year. Even if he plays well, you're going to go out in the first round at best. With Justin, it's probably the same ceiling or maybe even a little lower, but there is the possibility It's slim at this point, but a possibility that he improves. I mean, we talked Sam Darnold earlier. Nobody would have thought he had this type of year that he had last year. So I would go with Fields. He'd probably be cheaper, and also there's a slight chance that maybe he improves and he becomes, a better quarterback for us.
I don't think
could be a guy in the future.
I don't think either one of these guys they're starting next year. I think, Brew, this will, I think, shock you. I think there's a decent shot that when they come up in the draft, Shador's still on the board. And that they have a real.
What number are they?
There's talk that he's.
They made the play. I think they're 21.
You think Shador's going to be there at 21?
It's possible.
The Athletic today had
quarterback usually slides every year.
Yeah, it's
and I think it's all on the board. Shador is not the second quarterback taken. And
like a Jackson Dart
or the guy we're about to talk about. I think it's on the board, but I also think Shador is more likely to go in the 20s or later than in the top 5.
That would be a home run for the Steelers.
Well, and in that case, though, maybe you bring back Russ and let Shador. Now, if Shador's ready, you can play him right away.
Shador's ready to rock.
Okay, but
he's taking
maybe
a ton of snaps.
I like Shador, but maybe he's ready to rock. And if he is ready to rock, then I put him in there ahead of Russ. But if not, I talked to Russ about, understand Shador's our future, and he might be our present. Are you cool being a mentor if he beats you out in training camp or if he plays well? And if Russ is cool with that.
Yeah, a lot of dudes come in ready to rock and get rocked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Coach, I'm not ready
to so sure, and I like Shador.
I know.
I like to be.
You like to take your time.
To me, though, I love your scenario, but I think Aaron Rodgers, this should be the place for Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, my goodness.
No.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers should go to Pittsburgh, and they should get him. Why not? He's not ruining Mike Tomlin's culture. In fact, wherever he goes, I think Devontae Adams should go.
Rodgers. That would be like the ultimate
No way.
test.
There's
What
no
about that storyline if he goes there and that's the 1 year now that they have a losing season?
That would be unbelievable.
Dusty, do we have time?
Hey, you got to take a risk.
What do you mean? It's 35. We have plenty of time.
You guys don't like Rodgers to Pittsburgh?
I don't like Rodgers anyway.
Finally, one of the odder stories out of the combine that Nick forced us to do.
Oh, yeah.
Alabama's Jalen Milroe all of a sudden got a larger hand.
Thank God.
Now, some people are reporting that his hand grew. His hand obviously didn't grow.
No, it was mismeasured.
It was measured 8 3/4 at the Senior Bowl. Then at the Combine, it was measured 9 3/8. So either the Senior Bowl got it wrong, the Combine got it wrong, or they both got it wrong.
I did read their stretching exercises.
There are, but not
lotions.
but not to add 5/8.
Lotions.
But there is. That is true.
Listen, so this is. You can laugh all you want, but if you actually read any of these articles, it said anything under 9 inches for hand size for a quarterback for some teams makes them undraftable.
There's no quarterback.
There is only Kenny Pickett was the only one. The only good quarterback that's close to it, Jared Goff, and we know what happened to him. And so I think that this is a legitimate big deal. He is already a tweener prospect because of his style. If he's going to be. Listen, the reason he has a chance to be drafted high is because of Jalen Hurts. Is because it's like the intangible, great runner, can develop as a passer, all of it. But if he had outlier hands, he'd be out. Now he doesn't. 9 3/8 is plenty. I understand it sounds ridiculous, but it really matters.
Are any of you guys surprised now by why there's so many misses in the draft? I mean, here we're talking about the Senior Bowl and the Combine, and they're measuring a hand. It's not like this is, and you've got two radically different measurements.
Senior Bowl screwed it up.
And the measurement is
but these are all professionals.
They also
doing
said
this.
that maybe he didn't extend his hand properly.
Yeah, it's just
wild.
But go ahead.
What are you frustrated by?
Coach,
It's not you, Coach.
what do you think? Why do you think we're doing this story? We didn't talk Alabama football with Jalen Milroe was the quarterback the whole year. We
talk draft, more draft than college football, buddy. We do that. We're an NFL and NBA show primarily. A little IndyCar, a little baseball, a little college football.
Touch of hockey?
Yeah, touch of hockey. What's the problem?
A scooch of college basketball.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is the.
Let's shake
We're in the box. Nobody. As soon as he got the story in.
It was all just
Yes,
a little
it was
bit.
you're
all
like
for this.
studying.
You're the only one didn't know this was coming.
I really took it
The
seriously.
whole thing. So he had this super.
For a bit.
I like Jalen Milroe. I'm rooting for him. I don't want to have to get another set of these.
I didn't.
I want the best for him.
I didn't realize there was
I
a
think you
little
do
hand
have
there.
another set of them.
Well, I've got two, but
all
they
this
don't
was
fit.
about,
They don't
Coach.
fit
The
him.
whole thing.
It was
I-
all
I
the
do a real
Listen, okay, I'm
has a
crazy.
Google search for
Coach,
hands.
Coach, I'm crazy. Because all year long, I had a touch of skepticism about Jared Goff.
Yeah,
because
how'd
of
he
the
do?
hands. Oh, I don't
What,
know.
14
He literally, the ball slipped out of his tiny
15.
hands in their first playoff game, and they lost because of it. What? That's what happened.
Fumbled the ball.
Exactly. Exactly.
Every fumble
5
is not
turnovers.
because you have tiny hands.
No,
He's
but-
throwing the ball the wrong team too.
Exactly.
That's not has to do with hands.
Oh, okay. You couldn't control it better.
I like how
That
Nick
makes a
goes
lot
from
of
deep
sense.
philosophical quotes to tiny
Right,
hands.
right.
Yeah, exactly. Get you a
What-
talk
that's a
show host
good
that can do
range.
both. Put that on the internet.
Yeah.
too.
No, stop putting this stuff on the internet.
Put it
Go the
out
other
there.
way. Delete it from the internet.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.